All right, good people. This is Marsha, Kerr, Talley, and it is Monday. It is July 15th. And today we are going to talk a little bit about main character energy and the villain era. I'm super excited about this episode because I'm going to be joined by someone I met recently at a networking event. And we just definitely sparked up this amazing connection. And we were at an event yesterday, and it was just brilliant for both of us. So I'm going to tell you a little bit. I'll just give you a backstory as she comes on and join us. Um, but yeah, so let me get into it. If you can hear noise in the background, I am outside in my shed because it's super hot here in the East Midlands today. I'm excited for that. I love that. But that also means I have to keep my fan on and the windows open and so on and so forth. So if you hear any noise in the background, that's what's going on. All right. Give me 1 second. Let me get all sorted and get everything together. Un momento, por favor. All right, so if you can hear me, you can probably see that I've kind of lost my voice. And that's because I was in excitement mode yesterday. I actually showed up to this event that Natasha invited me to, and I didn't know what to expect. I walked in the room. I've been to, several tons even of networking events, social events, trainings, and so on and so forth. So I didn't really know what to expect from this event at all. But because we had a rapport, and really just trusted that if she was going to be at this event, that it was going to be super dope. Um, so me like word. I'm on the right speakers too. Hopefully you guys can hear me well. All right, cool, cool. Yeah, I think you can hear me well now. Yeah. Ooh, my goodness. So I'm drinking lemon tea with a little ginger in it because I woke up this morning from yesterday's event and like my voice was doing a number on me. So I'm drinking tea as we speak. All right. So when let's do a little backpedaling a bit. So for the last few months, I've definitely been going through a transition. Um, which really the catalyst for this particular phase of my life was my ex-husband passing away. And so I was living in Texas, and he and I had actually moved from London to Texas because he was stationed there. And then we decided to build a family and whatnot there. And so, well, welcome, Natasha. I can see you just doing a little backstory right
Hey,
now. Then we're
babes.
going to get into it. Hey, hey. So, just sharing with the people that yeah, so this phase of my life, I it really was the catalyst was him passing away. And being in Texas, I really didn't have family there, and that was the purpose of me moving there at the time was to just be with him. So when he passed away, it was just like time to move back to the UK. And I've been trying to figure out how to do things here. I've been trying to figure out what I want to do. I've been a teacher for my entire professional career. And while I was teaching, I was still running my businesses, still doing different things. And I was multitasking. One of the things that has been a thread for me throughout my entire life is hearing that I am too loud. I talk too much. I ask too many questions. I'm too aggressive. It was always to this, to that. And I've constantly I heard that so many times. And so one of the times with Theo, my ex-husband, I remember being on the military base and we were in a having a conversation. He was doing a religious course because he was getting a degree. And somehow I was in the class. I don't even remember why. But I brought up a serious topic that the tutor at the time did not like, which was also a chief in the Navy. And yeah, so if he didn't like my ex-husband's wife, my ex-husband could have gotten in trouble. Anyway, in that conversation, I remember vividly, it never left my mind, of this tutor telling me, "You're too aggressive." And it was really because I was having this conversation. I was asking questions that I thought was relevant to this religious class, but the questions wasn't in line with what the tutor was teaching. And so he thought I was just combative, and I was labeled aggressive. So moving forward, fast forward all over a year, almost going into 2 years of Mr. Talley passing away. And I'm here in the UK and I'm networking and I'm meeting different people. I meet Natasha Henry. Awesome sauce. Like, she is, man, her energy. Her energy. If you've met me in person, listen, this lady she's times me a lot. And I met her a couple of weeks ago at a different event, and we just connected. Don't even know how. We just gravitated to each other and we connected and we stayed connected. And then
Instantly, absolutely
instantly, and it was effortlessly as well. We didn't even put in too much work. It just effortlessly happened. And then this weekend, what Natasha doesn't know is this. So, and I'm going to tell the people about this on another podcast because I feel like I need to update you guys. So recently I met a person that really ignited this new idea of, oh, I like dating again, and I could see myself getting in a relationship again. But the last couple of days, it's been different. And so this weekend, I knew he was going to be busy. And I also knew that I wasn't going to be sitting around just fumbling my thumbs and waiting on text messages and calls and different things. So I wanted to get busy. So I reached out to Natasha and I said, hey, is there any networking events going on this weekend? And she shared this one that she invited me to. My mom lives in London, so I went down to see my mom, and then I went to the event yesterday. And boy, like I said, I didn't know what to expect because I've been to different networking events, and I really don't know what to expect when you go to different rooms. I didn't know any of the people except Natasha, and we barely just met. But whoa, whoa, Natasha, tell us, how do you feel about that event
Oh
yesterday?
my, I don't even feel like I slept properly, first and foremost. I still feel like I am on cloud nine, buzzing. Like, I just want to do it all over again. I want to do the whole day all over again. Are we doing shout
Yeah.
outs? Do you do shout outs?
Oh, go ahead and shout out all the people. Shout
Honey,
them out.
social selling secrets. Shout out Avita, Sarah Buckland, Rach. The ladies went in on the value, on the
In,
gems, on the.
in.
It was a vibe. It wasn't even just an event. It just took live events to a whole nother level. There was so much variety. Like, it was just, yeah, it was a whole day. Do you know, I only clocked when I got home that I didn't even eat lunch. That's when you know
Yeah.
it's a good event, when
Let
you
me
don't
tell
have
you,
your belly full.
girl, you didn't eat. Yeah, you didn't eat lunch, but guess what? I didn't pee the whole time. I didn't get up one time to go to the restroom. I did not notice that until I was getting on the bus, getting
Oh
back to my
gosh.
mom's. Like, I didn't pee because I was like so invested in the whole energy. And I'm
Yeah.
definitely an energy person. I'm a
Yeah.
vibe
Same.
person. And I can't change that. I know some people are more logical and that's the way they go. But I'm a person who, I show up into a room, I'm feeling you out. And if you don't feel right to my spirit, we're not going to vibe. We're just not getting
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, like, when you talk about incredible, as in, that was that an event? Did that really happen? Like, what? And
Yeah.
it's, you can't even, I don't even know how to describe it so much because it's like you had to be there.
You had to be in the room.
You
Like,
had to be in the room.
that whole miss it, miss out. Like, that is the vibe. That was the vibe. Energy speaks for itself. And exactly like you, Marsha, I'm just like, energy never lies. Like, you just know your people, you know when you find them, you know when you feel them. Exactly how when we met, like, it was just effortless. Like, yesterday,
Yes.
I don't really like the term networking, but
Yeah.
yesterday did not feel like networking. It felt like I was connecting with beautiful
Yes.
souls, just connecting with beautiful souls. It didn't feel
Yes.
like, oh, I don't want to go up to her. I don't want to talk. Like, it just wasn't that at all. Like, it was just smooth. It, like you said before, it was effortless and it was chill. And it was just dope, man. Like, it was just it was connection. That is what it was,
It
connection.
was
And I love events that I feel like it's more than, like you said, you didn't know what to expect, but it was more than what you even expected anyway. And I
yes.
think there's certain levels to these things as well, you know, like, and it wasn't just we're here to speak to people, to meet people. Like, I want to say that's what it was. Energetically, it was like everybody that we engaged with and interacted with was on the same plane. So it was
Everybody.
just high frequency, high vibes, good energy. Like, yeah, there could have
It
been a
was
bag of
mad.
foolishness going on in a corner and I wouldn't have even noticed because the energy in the room was just fire.
What was going on in the corner?
I said, no, there could have been a fire in the corner
Oh
or
yeah.
something mad, but I wouldn't even have noticed because what was happening at the event just, I was captivated by the whole day. Like, the ladies just really put on, and considering that they had only met, and this is how you know the power of connection, the power
Man.
of aligning with the right people.
Mm.
For me, what came up yesterday, which I know you haven't even asked me, but babes, I'm telling you, what came up
Mm.
for me was like just really owning our energy, like being unapologetic, like
Yeah.
really showing up and showing out and being audacious, you know. Some people
Yeah.
are gonna like us, some people are not. And I really am in a season of learning to be okay with those that actually may not like me. As nice as I am,
Cause you're
there's gonna be
nice.
people that we rub up the wrong way, for whatever reasons. But yeah, just energy, putting yourself in the rooms. And the point I was going to make is the ladies, if I believe and remember correctly, they had only met earlier this year, I believe in April, didn't know each
Yes.
other beforehand, excuse me, all flew to LA for a retreat. Like, literally, like a couple of months ago, they did not even know each other. To then
Less
go
than
to
three
all
months
the way
ago.
across, say that again, my babes.
Less than 3 months ago. They didn't know each
Yeah,
other.
less than 3 months to have built such a connection in
Yeah.
such a short space of time, to attend an event in LA and then be like, listen, we need to bring this to London, and then put that kind of event on that we had yesterday 3 months later.
Mad. It's
Yeah,
mad.
the power of
It's mad.
connection, the
And
power of energy, the power of being in the right room.
you're breaking up a little bit. You broken
Say,
up. I don't know. Are you still there?
I'm
You were breaking up a bit.
still here. Can
Oh,
you
you
hear
did
me?
go to the gym. Yeah. Yeah,
Can
yeah.
you hear me
That's
now?
fine. It's a good thing you went to the gym.
Okay,
My
cool.
session would have
I'm
started
on.
at
I'm on
11:30.
the way to
Can you hear
the
me? I can't hear you.
Oh no!
Yeah, you're
Okay, let me
breaking
see if
up
I
a
can.
bit.
Ay ay ay. All right, you keep going, babes. You keep
Yeah,
going. If I come back in, you catch
yeah,
me.
yeah. So, what I find interesting about this too, as Natasha said, it's about alignment. And this is something I am learning in this season of my life, is that the right people, and we've heard this before, we've heard, it sounds cliche, but the right people, you will just literally gravitate to them and
Yeah,
connect with them effortlessly. And it's not to say after the fact you don't have to put work in or effort in to maintain that connection and have clear, effective communication. And something Natasha did earlier today that actually I really, really appreciated it. It was something simple as she asked me a question, a clarifying question about an image, a reel that I put out, and she wasn't in that reel. The reason I liked that she asked the question was because sometimes, so many times, you make good connection with people, right? But there's a misunderstanding about something, and you hold it in and you harbor it, and that one little thing now turns into something that ruins a phenomenal connection. Just
yeah,
one little thing. So even asking that question, it reminded me that instead of me harboring onto negative vibes or negative, if I have a question, just ask it, because then I can get some answers. But the alignment is powerful. That piece is really significant when we are talking about networking, when we're talking about connecting. Everyone is not going to be for you.
Nope.
And one of the things I got from this event for me was this idea of really remembering who you are. Because for me, I am fierce, I am assertive, I am bold. I am one of those people who show up in the room and I have energy. I know that about myself. However, I have allowed circumstances, people's opinions, life events to kind of rub me down, like it has
Dim
belittled
your
me
light.
somewhat, made me dimmed my light.
Yeah.
It's made me smaller. And someone in the room said yesterday, nobody else can dim your light but you, because you're the one with the light switch. You're the one who switches it on and you switch it off. Do not allow anyone else to dim you. And I had to pay attention to how I was behaving over the months. So that event was reminder of who I was. And some of you need that reminder. You need to be reminded that you are powerful, that you are assertive, and who you are is okay. And the right people will see you and they will value you immediately. There are people who you have in your life, they've had you all your life, and they don't know
Preach.
how to value you. They don't know how to
Preach it.
treat you to your worth. They don't see it. And then you
Yeah.
show up in another space and people see you immediately. So this brings me into the topic that I want us to talk about today. Because when we talk about villain era and we talk about main character energy, it kind of feels a little bit negative, right? But what does villain era mean for you? And what does main character energy mean for you, Natasha?
So for me, immediate and just a little backstory. So I had met Sarah Buckland, who for me put me onto the whole main character energy. And I feel like I didn't have a name for my energy until I met her. And when she was like main character energy, I was like, that is me. That is my vibe. I am main character energy. I just didn't have
Yeah.
the words for it. So for me, exactly what you've already said is remembering who I
Mm,
am, showing up in all of my authenticity, being magnetic, being bold, having confidence, being unapologetic, wearing bright ass colors, like just doing
yes.
all the things, like just really not concerning myself with whose nose might get put out of joint or, who I might upset or whatever, really doing things for myself. And just really being who I know I've been called to be, and not worrying about how others are going to perceive me, are going to take me, or. So for me, main character energy is just showing all the way up. It is not playing small. It is not dimming your light. It is just being unapologetic, super magnetic, and yeah, just vibing with those that vibe with you. So that's what I take from main character energy. What's about yourself?
You know what? And this is a thing today. I was writing in my journal because after yesterday, one of the ladies said, you have to have a routine, morning
Yeah.
and night routine. The morning to kind of set up your day, and the night to like reflect. And
Yeah.
this morning, I was setting up my day. And what came to me was, I feel ready to deliver what I came to this planet to do.
Yes.
And so all of us come with something. We have a package inside of us, and we have to deliver that package. And it takes us a minute, some of us a minute, to figure out that who we are is the package. Who
Yeah.
we are is what we need to deliver to the world. And so when I think about main character energy, I'm thinking about Marsha, all of life experiences that have created who you are today, all the wisdom that you've attained from all of your struggles and your trauma, all of those things, you are to deliver those to other people and help them. You
Yeah.
have to show up, like you said, unapologetically. And that doesn't mean you're being loud and rude and obnoxious. That's not what that means. It means you're authentically being yourself and, like you said, showing up in your fullness, showing
Yeah.
up in your gift. Because what I have learned is that when you decide to dim your light, the success that you should have received, you will not.
Hmm.
Because you're perpetrating someone else. You're imitating someone else. You're imitating their main character energy when you should be in yours, fully in yours. And so you'll never truly be comfortable with yourself. It will almost be an internal conflict constantly because you are truly not being who you're supposed to be. Main character for me is being your, and you have to learn this. Some of us have to take time out to actually learn who we are, because some of us don't know that because of whatever is going on, the opinions of others. For whatever reason, people's opinions really affect us on a deep, deep level. And so some of us are hiding, cowering under
Yeah.
the opinions of other people. So this villain era for me
Woo!
is saying, I that was girl,
That
girl.
blew my mind. It blew my mind. And you know what? What came to me last night, just before you start, Marsha, is when you think about it, yeah. And as soon as Sarah started talking about, a certain character from whether it's Disney or whatever company, like just how powerful she is or was, and
Mm,
how direct and how blunt and how unapologetic and even fashionable, might I say, and
fashionable.
the
Yeah,
character that it was is Cruella de Vil. And when you think
yeah,
about how very well put together she's dressed, how outspoken she is portrayed as it, as in the character, as a negative. Like her
yeah,
being bold, her being outspoken, her doing what she wants, it is portrayed as something negative. And I was thinking to myself, even with like the what is it, I think from Little Mermaid, there's like a
yeah,
witch under the water, or there's it's been a while, but I'm pretty sure when I started thinking about the movies and how women, like powerful characters, are portrayed, it's not positive at all. So like the
no,
conditioning and the indoctrination that we've received, even just from childish movies,
yep.
is like, yeah, no, we were set up for failure from the jump, from the
From the jump.
absolute jump. But in saying that, I still absolutely love Cruella de Vil.
See, now with she wasn't the person that was envisioning while they were talking about villain. It's
Okay.
Maleficent. I don't know if you have you watched Maleficent.
No,
It's
babe, I
it's
haven't.
played by Angelina Jolie, the one that I'm thinking about. It's played by Angelina Jolie,
Ah,
and she has like the horns or whatever. And
okay.
that movie, when I watched it, I was really baffled because I don't think she is the villain. It's
Yeah,
just the way that she's portrayed. And
yeah,
so I think you are absolutely right. When we think about women who are outspoken, who are bold, who are fashionable, who go against the norm,
yeah,
um, they are always put in a light of being the villain. They
yeah.
In every movie I can think about. Now, some of them are evil, but I think some of them are just misunderstood, to be honest. I think some of them are put in this position where they feel like they have to act out in this way. And that's
Hmm.
another thing that happens is when
Survival.
you are told constantly you're this, you're that, you're too much, you're too, sometimes what happens is instead of you showing up and being bold and magnificent and just being a phoenix, you now show up in the evil part of it. You take on that negative persona of it. And that does happen because you feel so misunderstood. And
Yeah,
you feel like, well, if they already think this about me, I might as well be this.
yeah. And you're
But
always
that
on the defensive as well.
always on the defensive. And I've been there. You're
Mm.
always being defensive. And that takes so much energy from you.
Yeah,
It takes so much, it drains you so much. Thinking about what other people think about you constantly is going to drain the hell out of you. It's going to drain you. So I would truly encourage people to stand up. And, well, actually, let me ask you, what would you tell people? Like, right now, we have young girls, not just young girls, women over 30s, in their 40s, women even in their 50s,
yeah,
who for years they have been told, even the lady I was sitting next to yesterday, she said, all I heard as one of my first memories, you're too much, you're too
yeah,
this, regardless of race, right now? And that I did bring up the race thing yesterday,
Yeah, that
but
was a
we'll
good
talk.
question, boy. That was a deep question.
But even outside of that, like there's so many women that hear certain things. What would you tell a woman now or
Yeah,
a young girl now who are women who are going through their identity crisis, really?
honey.
Because inside of them, they feel one type of way.
Yeah.
They're like, but I know. And then external factors, their parents, their loved ones, their lovers, they're saying something completely different to them, and it's a conflict. What would you say to them?
I would say, having had my own identity crisis, whilst I was still married, I would say take the time to look within. Like, I think we live such busy lives trying to do everything and be everything for everyone. We're not actually taught to carve out time for ourselves.
Mm,
And I just think if we were all to take exactly like you were saying, like learning to schedule or, just plan your day, like prioritize having time in your day where you sit with self and you ask yourself questions. For me, I would say personally, I don't even know if marriage was something that I fully believed in or just I knew. I wouldn't say imposed, but it was just I saw my parents get married. I was in the church when I was quite young, so it was the done thing. And then you
mm.
kind of like fall into the good girl, and I say that with air
Woo!
quotes. I'm going
That
there,
what I want
babe.
to talk about.
I'm
That one.
going there. Yeah, you fall into the good girl, box, the category where I did get married first before we had children. Then we got the house and we had the nice car. So to the outside world, everything looked very much glittery and very much gold. But in my heart, in my soul, in my being, I had no clue who I was. I was
Mm,
trying to be a wife, I was trying to be a mother, I was trying to run a business, I was trying to look after my home, and I felt like I was failing miserably at all of it because nobody teaches us. Really, we learn by what we see, whether that's our mothers, our grandmothers, aunties, whoever it is that are our primary caregivers. We pretty much
mhm,
copy what we see. But I would say to those that are like younger now, take the time to really question your beliefs, your narratives, like, and just make sure they are yours. Like, they're not
mm.
what your mum said or did or this, that, and the other. It's not what a teacher said to you or, like, just take the time and really question, is that what you want for your life and why? You know? Like
And
a friend of mine,
why?
I had a conversation the other day and I was saying, like, I'm recently divorced now. Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop.
And I was just saying, at this time, it was a couple of months ago, I was still saying, oh, yeah, 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 I want to be in a relationship. I want to be in a relationship. But when I took the time to deep why I wanted to be in a
Mm,
relationship, it was only really number one. I had always been in a relationship. I was married
mm,
to my husband for maybe like 8 years. I say almost because we were together or knew each other for almost 20. So it just felt like a lifetime anyway. So
mm,
he was my childhood sweetheart. That's all I'd ever known is a relationship. So as an adult, I'd never dated. I'd never, done all the things. Like, I'd only ever been in this one committed long-term relationship.
mm,
And really and truly, when I really went below the surface and I asked myself, Natasha, why do you want to be in a relationship? It was really more out of having somebody choose me. It wasn't
ah,
out of me choosing myself, which is a season
woo,
that I'm currently in not expecting, not having my hand out, not looking for validation, providing myself with safety and security and being all the things that I look to a person to provide for me and being that woman for myself. So the taking the time for self and really just like checking what it is that you say. Because sometimes I think, again, we just say things so flippant and so off the bat, like without even thinking about it. Like, where does that thought even stem from? Like, is that
yes,
my own thought? So yeah, I'm a big advocate, similar to you, with journaling, just taking the time to look at things. And I'm just grateful, again, the women that I hold myself accountable to, or I am blessed to have in my life. Like, those are the kind of conversations that I'm privy to, like where my friends would be like, okay, well, check yourself. Like, let's not
yes.
just sit in in the things that we say out loud to ourselves, to others, and just think it's gospel, because a lot of the time it's not even our own thoughts.
That is so powerful because I've said, and I think I left this in one of my books, but I've said it a few times. Your thoughts, just because they come into your head,
Yeah.
does not mean A, that it's right, they're right, or they're yours.
Yeah.
We have been influenced on the subconscious level, subliminally, from by so many things: TV, our parents, the church, so many different things, that yes, it's important for us to scrutinize our own thoughts, our own beliefs, our own biases, to see where
Mm.
they're coming from. Does this belong to me? Do
Do we
I
even
truly
want
believe
them?
this? Do I want, that's it, because that's powerful.
Yeah.
Because you have a choice to say, I don't want this. This is
Yeah.
not the life I want to live. This is not how I want to create my life. I want something different. So here's what I heard from you, and I want to sum this up again, that was said so beautifully. All your thoughts are not yours, so we know that. But we learn, yes, we learn from what we see, but you have to make sure that what you see, those are things you want to imitate. Those are things you actually want in your life. Make sure that the thoughts that you're thinking, the ways that you're behaving, the beliefs and the biases that you're upholding are actually yours. And you're
Yeah.
not just reflecting somebody else's and perpetuating their ways of doing things and thinking and speaking. And question everything, not just everyone, but everything, your own thoughts. And knowing when to like be quiet. Just because, yeah, you feel some type of way doesn't mean you need to say it out loud. That's something for me, because sometimes I just say it, but I really don't need to say certain things out loud. And question why. Why do I have these beliefs? Why am I doing what I'm doing? That's a way of really becoming more introspective. And that's how we transform our lives, when we are able to scrutinize what we do and make decisions. Do I want to keep this, or do I not? So that's a challenge I will put out to listeners, including myself, and to you, Natasha, is for us, when we are journaling and when we're reflecting, is to really put certain thoughts and behaviors into two piles. This one I want to get rid of, and this one I want to keep. And we have the ability to do that. We can choose. We can choose. When you have more information, you can make different decisions.
Yeah.
And I love that you talk about the divorce. And there are two things, I think, three things I want to touch on before we have to head off. The good girl
Oof,
mentality.
girl, go there.
This one is also big for me, because as extroverted and confident and bold as I am, this one has been the thing for me, of especially in my later adult life, which is weird, because all of a sudden, and in the event yesterday, someone asked, do you remember a time? I think it was Sarah. She said, look, close your eyes
Yeah.
and think about a time when you did something and people applauded you for it. How did that make you feel? So on and so forth. And I think she was going down that line. And because I've always heard people say things like, you're too loud, you're too this, you're too that, there was a point where I did not want to be too that and too that and too that. I wanted to be what everyone else accepted as okay, because I wanted to feel a part of them. I wanted to feel loved. I wanted to be embraced. And apparently, me being too loud and too aggressive and too this and too that meant that I wasn't ready for love. I wasn't good enough for love. I wasn't good enough to be accepted and to be treated well.
Mm.
So I wanted to be less of me and become someone else. And it was that good girl thing. Like, okay, if I did it this way and if I spoke this way, then I will be accepted. And even something as simple, and bringing it into our businesses, as my Instagram profile. I went through that whole thing. And even yesterday, when I was thinking about what I've done, I went through my whole profile and I archived all of my videos and photos that showed up as Marsha, because I thought I was looking at all these other profiles and these people who said this is how you need to
Um,
be, and I was trying to curate my profile, my avatar, my image online to look a certain way that would be more appealing, because evidently
acceptable.
the way that I am wasn't
Yeah.
appealing. It wasn't acceptable. It's not the way. And
Yeah.
when she talks about that good girl thing yesterday, it hit me.
Girl, you and me both.
Like, seriously, this is what I was doing. I
Yeah.
I went back to my profile, and as she was talking, I was on archiving things.
Yes.
I was on archiving things, but
Putting
that's what.
Marsha back on the grid.
Yes. Yes. You know what? Even a couple of days ago, I was like, I'm done. I'm just gonna go in the shadows, and I'm done. I'm not gonna talk too much. I'm not gonna
The
this, that, and the
shadows,
other.
Marsha.
Yeah. Like, that's where I belong. What?
Oh,
And
babes.
I'm telling you, this thing, people don't understand that some of the things they've said to people over the years,
Oh my
how it
goodness.
affect them for life.
Yeah.
Where it's taken you a lifetime to try and undo what people have said to you or done to you.
And they say it so
And
flippantly as well, with like
yeah,
no idea of the repercussions like that it will have on you, like years, exactly like you said, down the line.
yeah.
Years
And
down the line.
it's taken so long. It's taken me so long to even this point where I've gotten to the point where I want to get into a relationship again. Same question I had to ask myself: why do you want to get into a relationship? And for me, it's different because I have been married, I have been divorced for a long time. We were co-parents for a long time, but I've had other relationships and I've had other situationships. And I just got to a point, and girl, I had a
Laughter
few of those.
recognition, babes. That's all. That is all that is.
Listen, and I just got to a point where I didn't want any of that, because I realized what the damage it done to me, all of those
Mm,
situations and all of that, what it did. And I didn't want that. But this time around, I went a long period of time not dating, not even being sexually active, just
mhm,
doing Marsha, just being what I call the great reset, just not
mm,
having anyone in my system, just being.
yeah.
And this time around, when this person showed up, because I was on a dating app and I was trying to like, and I've met people, but it was like I met them and I knew, nah, okay,
Yeah.
and just all of like, nope, I knew. So I was going through people, and when I met this person, I didn't really think the date was going to go well at all. Um, in fact, it started off rough. And then as we, it did, it was something else. And then, I kind of connected with this person, but I did have to ask myself, because it was effortless again. The
Mm,
connection was so smooth. There was no issues. It was just getting on after we got over the hump of that initial date. But then I saw certain traits that were showing up again in the
mm,
way that I behaved with this person. The clinginess that was trying to
yeah.
show up again. The the possessiveness of, and I'm not a very possessive person, but what I will do is, like, if I like you and I want you in my space, I want you in my space all the damn time.
Addictive personality.
But the thing is, I don't have an addictive personality until I'm with a person. Like, there's nothing else in my life that I'm like, oh yeah, I can kick
Okay.
anything else. But when it comes to, and I knew this about me, which is why I've always been, well, in recent years, been very careful about connecting with anyone else unless they
Mhm.
were reciprocating the same energy, because I knew what I was like.
Yeah.
But I had to ask myself, why do you want to be in a relationship? Is
Yeah.
it because I too want someone who chooses me so I feel worthy? That
Yeah.
I feel like, you know what, Marsha, who you are is now validated because you have someone
Mhm,
who
mhm.
accepts you and takes you. Is that why? Why do you want to be in a relationship? And the truth is, for me right now, is that I actually want to be in a relationship because I want partnership, not
Mm,
just companionship. I want someone who is there with me and can do life with me, and a life partnership.
mm,
That's what I'm looking for. So I realized that I'm actually quite healed. Like, I've gone through a lot of phases in my life, and the things that were showing up, it wasn't because I was no longer healed or I was still broken or I was still traumatized. It wasn't that. It was because of the habits I've formed
yeah.
during the process of me healing. Those were my trauma response. Well, I felt like they were going to abandon me, so I'm going to abandon them first, or I'm going to cling on or hold on for dear life. It was
Oh,
like one of the two.
yeah.
And so that was my trauma response. And so I realized in this season, that's what I was doing. It wasn't
Mm,
like I am healed. I have dealt with a lot of this. I've done the inner work. So why do you want to be with someone else right now? And why are these traits that were in the phase of you being broken showing up again? So now I realize that, in fact, what I have to do is to now learn new ways of responding to a person I'm actually interested in, to a
mm,
person who I may consider to date or get into a relationship. I have to find new ways of dealing with that. So in this, to wrap it up, because I think you want to head off in like, yeah, like we'll finish at 11:45, so like 3 minutes, so we can get ready
okay.
for the next event. Um,
Yes,
but
yes,
just
yes.
to wrap it up, like when again about the main character energy and the villain era,
Ooh,
like
I'm excited. That
yeah,
that is what I am. I'm excited about dropping the good girl narrative,
woo, God,
unlearning, undoing all the things. And, we're probably going to mess it up. We are probably going to go too
absolutely.
far in the opposite direction. But that is okay because we're here to learn, we're here to learn, make mistakes, and then, be the best version of ourselves anyway. So I am just fully excited about just all the things. And you know what? I'm going to put this out here because I wanted to share with you yesterday. I hope you don't mind. But
No, go for
basically,
it.
when Sarah was talking about her sensual floor routine stuff, I have a
Uh-huh.
friend who teaches, shouts out Charmaine and Soul to Soul Heels, who teaches sexy heels dance classes, Marsha. And when
I'll
I
be
tell
there.
you, babe, I already knew it. When we was watching Sarah, I was like, Marsha's coming with me. She is
Yep.
absolutely coming with me. So Shams, you heard it on here. Marsha is coming. And the
I am
wickedest thing
coming,
about what
child.
my friend that she's doing, I believe it's next month. She has done like a rain video shoot. Babes, they were doing up video vixens, okay? Doing all the sexiness, all the sexy dances in heels, in piece of clothing with
Yep.
with the rain effects
Yep.
and
I'm ready for it.
videographer. Babes, I said, let my villain era begin now.
Let it begin. Let it begin.
And
Because
even with
for
that, just to say, Marsha, it's like allowing myself
yes.
to explore all sides of me. As a woman,
Yes.
I am sensual. As a woman, I am spiritual. I don't want to be in anyone's box, let alone the box that I've put myself in. Like, I'm
Absolutely.
really, like, my villain era is just, it's going to be a lot of experimenting and really uncovering what floats my boat, what, fills my cup, what gets me excited, like what spaces and what people do I want to be around, and just doing more of the things that excite me, with the
Doing
people that excite
more
me.
of the things that excite you.
Yeah,
Powerful.
yeah.
Powerful. Doing more of the things that excite you. See, the good thing for me, because I've been divorced for a long time. So we actually got divorced about, oh my gosh, my daughter is 16, so about 14 years ago.
Oh,
We've been
wow.
divorced for a long time. So for me, I have had my era of exploration
Yeah,
and experimentation, and I do know what floats my boat.
yeah.
And oh, I do. I'm fully aware. I am fully aware. And the only thing is, it's like for me, it was always, and this is why I said it's a reminder for me now, because for a while there, I was quenching that part of myself. And there's a time and a place
Mm,
for everything, but
yeah.
there's a part of me that I was quenching. Like I was just I was definitely dimming my light because I
Yeah.
didn't want to offend some people. I didn't want certain people to think, because some people, they see one part of you and they think that's
Yeah.
all of you,
All of you.
and they
Yeah. Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
understand there are layers to a
Right.
person. Like, I can be this and that.
Yes.
And so I was very selective about the people. For a moment, I was just by myself. I didn't even go out and socialize. And I'm an extrovert. That
Yeah.
I like being out. I like being with people. So for me, I think you are 100% right. You have to discover different elements of yourself. It's your human experience. So the villain era doesn't have to be negative, and it shouldn't be. It is you
Mhm.
standing up and owning who you are because you've learned all those parts, or exploring all
Yeah.
of those things about yourself. Some of us are so one dimensional because, again, we never took the time out to
Mm.
question the beliefs that we have, the why we say the things we say and do the things we do. We've never done that. And then we look at other people who are doing it or have done it and we frown on them. But
Yeah.
that's, in actuality, that's how you grow. That's how you transform your life. When you look and you question and say, who am I? Who do
Yeah.
I want to become? Am I exploring all parts of myself? That is
It's
powerful.
that
And
bit.
doing the
Yeah.
things that ignites your fire, man. Doing the
Mm.
things that turns you on. Doing the things that are fun and happy and healthy. Doing those things. Why do we feel like life just has to be miserable
Yeah.
and frowning all the time and suffering all the time and oh my God and why?
Girl, bye.
Bye. I'm done with it. I'm over it. I'm like, bye, Felicia, for
Bye,
real.
Felicia. Drop me out.
See, I mean, I don't need to be part of that anymore. Like, that season is done. There's got
Yeah.
to be another side of all of that hurt and suffering and trauma and all of that. There has
Yeah.
to be another side. And hear what? I'm ready to explore that other side.
Girl,
I'm
I
ready.
am with you.
I'm ready for it. All the way ready. So with
Yeah.
that, we are going to wrap this thing up. Natasha, you are a
Oh,
rock star.
babes, you are a legend.
You, you,
No, you, babe,
you.
you.
You're the
At
legend,
least we
man.
know what our next date is probably going to be. Getting sexy up.
Yes, I'm ready for it. You hear me? I'll be
Listen,
there.
babes,
I'm ready.
you are
I will do
my
the
right
thing.
woman. My
But
right
yeah, I
woman going forward.
appreciate you,
Oh,
and
thank
I
you
will.
for inviting me.
Huh?
I said thank you for inviting me on.
Oh, most definitely. We should definitely collaborate a lot more.
We are going
Seriously.
to do this again for sure.
Yeah, you're a rock star, and I will see you soon.
All right, gorgeous lady.
All right, talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys, this is Marsha Kerr Talley. I am your emotional wellness coach, and I can help you discover why the villain era is important and why you should operate in your main character energy. Schedule a call with me today, and we will talk soon. All right, bye.